2014 Peoria Heights Board of Trustees meeting. Meeting is now called to order. Would you please rise and join us in the pledge of the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our village clerk, Shauna Musselman, could not be here tonight, so we need a motion from the board to temporarily appoint Administrator Fick to handle the minute duties tonight.
So moved.
I have a motion from Trustee Cumming and a second from Trustee Gett. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say no. Thank you. The ayes have it. Administrator Fick, if you would do us the honor, would you please call roll?
Trustee Harn, Trustee Carter, Trustee Fuller,
Present.
Trustee Reichert,
Present.
Trustee Gett,
Present.
Trustee Cumming.
Present.
Okay, thank you very much. First order of business tonight is the approval of the Board of Trustees minutes for the August 5th meeting. Do we have any changes that need to be made to the minutes as submitted? Need a motion for approval?
Make a
motion to approve.
Have a motion from Trustee Fuller and a second from Trustee Reichert. All those in favor of approving the minutes as submitted, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say no. Thank you. The ayes have it, and the board has approved the minutes for the meeting on August 5th, 2014 as submitted. Next up is correspondence. Obviously, our village clerk is not here tonight. Administrator Fick, is there anything of glaring controversy and interest for the people at large?
Not this evening, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you very much. No announcements at this time, so we will move to trustee reports, and first up will be the ambulance service with Trustee Fuller.
Thank you, Mayor Allen. I have the July 2014 monthly review. In the month of July, we had 88 total calls, 79 of which were medical calls and 9 fire calls, and we had 56 total transports to the local hospitals. I don't know if you want me to say anything about this. I don't really know much about it, but
No, that's fine.
okay.
Got the information, huh?
Okay.
Any questions at all for Trustee Fuller? All right, thanks again. Trustee Harn could not be here tonight. Director of Public Works, Smith, is there anything interesting going on in the Public Works realm?
Well, there's always interesting things going on in Public Works, but nothing that we need to discuss tonight here.
Well, thank you very much. Administration Personnel with Trustee Reichert.
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing.
All right, thank you very much. Trustee Carter could not be with us tonight. Mr. Administrator, anything on the Economic Development Village Improvements Horizon?
Nothing this evening, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. We'll move to the Police Department with Trustee Cumming.
Thank you, Mayor Allen. The next Neighborhood Watch meeting is Monday the 25th at 6:30 p.m. right up here at Village Hall. I'd like to ask residents if you have any code enforcement or police issues in your neighborhood, please come up, join us, let us know about them, and we'll get those rectified for you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any questions at all for Trustee Cumming? Thanks again. We'll move to Building Maintenance with Trustee Gett.
Thank you, Mayor Allen. I have nothing to report.
Okay, and we will close out with the Fire Department with
I have nothing
Trustee
to
Gett.
report on the fire department, but I do want to give the Heights JFL kudos because they got real good numbers, strong numbers this year. It looks like they're going to have enough for every level, plus a couple flag, and they brought cheerleading back. So if you happen to see a JFLer out there selling the fundraiser, buy. They need the help. They need more equipment, believe it or not. Because now they got numbers, they need some equipment. So anyhow, congratulations to them. Hopefully the numbers keep growing and they have a successful year.
Okay.
They'll be in some tournaments Labor Day.
All right. Thank you, Trustee Gett. Any questions at all for Trustee Gett? All right, thanks again. Comments from the audience? Any cares or concerns? Jen? Okay. Thank you for attending. No old business tonight, so we'll go immediately to new business. And first up will be permit renewal for Miller Auto. Mr. Administrator, could you do this as trustee Carter cannot be with us tonight.
I can, Mr. Mayor, thank you. First is, this is a special use renewal for Miller Automotive, which is at 5021 North Galena Road. His permit expires in 1st of September, or September 3rd, so this is for September 4th through September 3rd, 2015. I have a report here from Code Enforcement Building Inspector Officer Kerry Wamsley. On this date, I have inspected the property at 5021 North Galena Road, known as Miller Automotive. My findings are as follows. The area is kept clean and neat and clean. All vehicles are being stored on the property that is that this permit covers. 4 cars were parked in front, although none were specifically marked as for sale. There were no other code violations, so it sounds like it's all in compliance. Mr. Mayor?
Okay, well, thank you, and we need a motion for approval, please.
So moved.
Have a motion from trustee Gett,
Second.
second from trustee Fuller. Any questions or comments from the board before the board votes? Okay, once again, this is for approval of the renewal of the special use permit for Miller Automotive on Galena Road. Mr. Administrator, would you please call roll?
Trustee Fuller?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert?
Aye.
Trustee Gett?
Aye.
Trustee Cumming?
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much. By a vote of 4-0, the board has approved the renewal of the special use permit for Miller Auto. Next order of new business tonight, it has to do with the Veterans Day Parade. And Mr. Administrator, if you would do us the pleasure on that one as well.
Certainly, Mr. Mayor. This is correspondence from Scott Corsat, who's the commander for the American Legion Post in the Heights here. They're requesting permission to hold Veterans Day Parade on Saturday, November 8th. The parade lineup starts at 8 o'clock at the corner of Marietta and Prospect, and that parade actually begins at 10, with ceremonies to follow here at Tower Park. So they're asking for the use of the streets for the parade, and then from the use of Tower Park from 7 until noon. And they'll provide insurance as requested.
Okay, thank you. Need a motion for approval, please?
So moved.
Have a motion from trustee Cumming,
Second.
second from trustee Gett. Any questions or comments from the board before the board votes? Okay, again, this is for board approval of the Veterans Day Parade and Ceremony on Saturday, November 8th, as outlined by Administrator Fick. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, please say no. Thank you, the ayes have it, and the board has approved the use of the streets in Tower Park for the Veterans Day Parade and Ceremony on Saturday, November 8th. Next order of new business, we do have on the docket the adoption of the Employee Personnel Handbook. This will be presented by trustee Reichert.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to make a motion to table this until we can make a couple more changes to it.
Okay. Have a motion from trustee Reichert to table the item.
Second.
Second from trustee Gett. Any questions or comments from the board before the board votes? Okay, once again, this is for board approval to table the adoption of the Employee Personnel Handbook for a coming meeting. Mr. Administrator, would you please call roll?
Trustee Fuller?
Aye.
Trustee Reichert?
Aye.
Trustee Gett?
Aye.
Trustee Cumming?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. By a vote of 4-0, the board has approved the tabling of the adoption of the Employee Personnel Handbook, and we will revisit that item in the near future. Next up, Mr. Tom Camper, who's been on the Peoria Heights Planning Commission for the past 14 years, unfortunately has to resign his position due to some personal reasons, health reasons, and we want to thank Tom again for the time and effort he's put into the Planning Commission over the years. It's oftentimes a thankless job and takes up time and effort, so we really appreciate Tom's work through the years. So at this time, need a motion from the board to accept the resignation from the Planning Commission of Tom Camper with regret.
I make a motion to accept the resignation of Tom Camper with regret.
A motion from trustee Gett,
Second.
second from trustee Reichert. Any questions or comments from the board before the board votes? Okay, all those in favor at this time, please signify by saying aye to accept the resignation of Mr. Tom Camper from the Planning Commission with regret. Please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, please say no. Thank you, the ayes have it. Board has approved the resignation from the Planning Commission of Tom Camper with regret. We also have a a letter from Ms. Katrina Ankenbrand, who is a resident of Peoria Heights, has lived in Peoria Heights for 8 years, I believe, and she works for Caterpillar, has been around the world, so to speak, on her job, and has a great interest in continuing to help create Peoria Heights into a very walkable and nature-driven, independent, small business-driven community. And she would like to serve our community on the Planning Commission, in essence, to take Tom's spot. So would ask the board to please make a motion for approval of the appointment of Katrina Ankenbrand to the Planning Commission.
So moved.
I have a motion from trustee Gett and a second from trustee Cumming. Any questions or comments from the board before the board votes? Okay, once again, this is for board approval of the appointment of Katrina Ankenbrand to the Planning Commission. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, please say no. Thank you. The ayes have it. The board has approved the appointment of Katrina Ankenbrand to the Planning Commission, and we certainly appreciate her volunteer spirit in the village. Next up is the treasurer's report, and that will be presented by our village administrator, Mr. Matthew Fick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is the treasurer's report for July 2014, submitted by Cliff Brumbaugh, village treasurer. In the village accounts general fund, a balance of $541,963.08. Motor fuel account is $259,345.36. Police drug savings, $553.19. Tax increment finance, $38,804.48. Healthcare flex account, $978.66 for a grand total, $841,644.77. In the waterworks and service deposits account, the waterworks account has a balance of $577,591.02. Service deposits, $85,541.31 for a grand total in waterworks account of $663,133,33.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions regarding the treasurer's report as read? Okay, then we will accept it as our village treasurer submitted to us. We also want to send out our condolences to Code Enforcement Officer Carrie Wamsley, whose wife passed away this past week, and we want to give our thoughts and prayers out to Carrie and his family in this difficult time. Our next departmental committee meeting will be held Wednesday, August 27th at 6:30 p.m., and the next Board of Trustees meeting will be held Tuesday, September 2nd at 6:30 p.m. Is there any other business to come before the board this evening?
I move to adjourn.
I have a motion from trustee Gett.
Second.
Second from trustee Cumming. All those in favor of adjourning the meeting at this time, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, please say no. Thank you. The ayes have it. Meeting is now adjourned, and we thank everyone for attending.